We are people advocating cannabis education here at paceradio.net.
The views expressed by the individuals during this broadcast are their own opinions, and they may not be the same as those of their group or other organizations they may be involved with.
When I think about those nights in Montreal, all I think about is weed. Memories of city lights and packing bowls.
Okay.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Canada Quebec Connection with me and Loretta. Say hi.
Hello. Hello.
It's 40 degrees out there with your humidex too.
Vast audience.
Right?
I hope you are all doing well. We are here to bless you and raise you up and rile you up. That's
right?
it. Raising and riling.
That's what our jobs are. Raising
that's
and
what
riling.
I see. That's what I see. That's how I see you, Wild T. You raise them up and rile them up. That's how I see it.
Well, I'm good at doing that. It's just like speaking the truth, it's blunt in the truth. But again, it's just the truth. So I checked your weather before we came on. It's 40 degrees where you are with your humidex. And it's also like about 39 degrees here. So we're both in a fucking heat wave. How are you managing?
Well, my icebox, my ghetto air conditioner, which I loved for many years. I think I had it 3 years, and I did have to, put some tape on it last year. But anyways, this is my ghetto air conditioning. And anyways, it broke, but I'm doing okay. I don't like actual air conditioning, like especially, those units that people put in windows. I don't know. I don't like fans on me. I've always had a thing about it. And actually with COVID, I think these things are germ spreaders. So, but nevertheless, I'm pretty hot. I'm a hot tamale today. How about you? How about you, girlfriend?
Wow.
Wild T, you're always hot no matter what.
Well, yeah, but it's stifling. Like my poor quails they're out there panting. I've been taking them ice. I just feel so bad for them. We're stifling in here too because it just is hot. Like there's not much we can do about it. Taven's got an air conditioner upstairs, so if I was really bad, I could go lay upstairs in his room. But it's bearable. Like I'm not like sweating to death, but I feel bad. I feel bad for my animals more than anything. So my chickens and my quails, I feel bad for them because it's super hot out there for them.
Yeah, well, it's good that you think that way. I mean, I agree. People have to think about little creatures outside and put some water out for them.
I can't keep up with the water for even the dogs in the house today. Like I've been feeding them ice cubes too, because they're all like, because we don't have air conditioning in the house, it's hot, and they're laying on the floor because it's cooler on the flofloor. But I've been feeding them ice cubes. I'm thankful that my ice machine on my fridge decided to start working again.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't for a really long time. It was like on the fritz, and it's because the pipe downstairs, we had some issues with the outside pipe, and then we pulled it all up. And then the toilet upstairs, we changed the float and that. Anyways, the water started working, so we had more pressure, and then the ice machine started working again. So I'm thankful for that today. But I guess we should get to some topics. We've had a lot going on the last week. We've had some more bodies found on the Indigenous side of things, which is super fucking just... I'm speechless about it, but like I said, I think I'm watching a lot of Native TikTok. I've already done like 4 weeks of the Indigenous, 12-week studies already. I did some Indigenous studies in university that didn't teach me any of this shit either. It was more cultural than it was actually historical. It's not like I was unaware of any of this. It's not. Alan's mom, grandmother. I didn't, knew about that. But I mean, this whole thing with Canada Day, I'm not even going to say sorry. I'm not celebrating. I'm not.
No, I look at, I feel like the only thing that is the silver lining is the fact that so many people I'm seeing on Facebook are canceling Canada Day this year, as it should be. We need to be ashamed, and we need to
they don't
own
want our
it.
shame. They don't want our shame.
We need to own it, and we need to change our behavior.
We need to change our behavior. They don't want our shame. and they don't want to
No,
admit
but
it.
I do think I think shame is okay. Like shame is an
We should own
emotion.
it. We
I
should
mean it's
definitely
like,
be owning this
but
shit.
they're really, it's not just, you know, yes, I understand that, you know, the apologies are so important, all of that, but
We need action.
we
They need
need like
action. They need action.
shift.
They need
Yeah, we
people
need
to actually
shift.
stand up and do something. Write your, like I said, write your MPs. Like when we wanted cannabis legalized, we united. We started going into our MPs' offices. We stood up, and I think that if we don't be allies, hi Ron, how you doing? We just got a message from Ron McNabb. How you doing, Ron? If we don't stand up for and start going and sending letters, emailing our parliament, demanding that they start doing something now.
Yeah, it's that. I mean, it's time. It's time for non-Indigenous Canadians to really show their support, and that's why I think it's amazing what you're doing on Canada Day. I'm hoping I've seen walks
I
and
haven't said
people.
anything. I only told you and Deb. I haven't said anything. I haven't posted it. I haven't said
Well, I
anything.
think
I'm just
it
gonna
you
do
know,
it on
I
the. I'm
just
just gonna do it, and then I'll take pictures and
sure.
post it. But
Yeah,
yeah,
no, I mean, is, you know, I hope so many Canadians follow suit. I really do. I feel like, I do feel like the shift is in, you know, there is a new consciousness about, you know, the fact that these were concentration camps, not schools. Stop calling them residential schools. You know, they were places of fucking chambers of horrors. You know, so it's just really important that Canadians own it. We have to own it. This is our history. It's a terrible truth about our history. We have to own it. And that's the only way we can become better. We can't become better or good, or forget about being great, whatever. We'll never be really good if we don't own it.
we'll never be great
No, and
until we
we
own it,
should
and
want
we
to be
have to,
good.
and we have to collectively move forward and change it, and not get over it.
Yes.
There's nothing. You can't get over this. There's no, like everybody goes, well, they should just. You can't get over grief. Somebody
No,
dies in
it's,
your life. There's no time limit on grief and mourning. And we
well,
tell
it's
people that
just,
lose somebody close to them that there's no time limit on grief. You're allowed to grieve for that person that you've lost for as long as it
sure.
mentally takes. And there should be no limit on this. There should be
No, of
none
course
of us
not.
saying get over this. There's no
No,
getting over this.
anyone who says that are people we do not want to talk to. But you know, you were very helpful to me. And wouldn't it be cool, like, if on Canada Day something was started where, you know, I don't know, maybe we do little 1 minute TikTok videos and we're all in orange and we say, you know, what unceded territory we're on. Like, I don't
Oh,
know, maybe like,
yeah. So
and
again,
and
we
you know,
didn't do that. We should have done that first. I'd like to acknowledge the
okay.
fact that I am on Tanaha Nation in Akam, Tobacco Plains territory, and you are on.
Yes, I'm happy to learn because my wonderful wild tea always helps me. I'm to say that I'm reporting tonight from unceded territory of the Kanien'kehá:ka.
Right.
That is so cool. I
Right.
like saying that. I hope I said it in a good
Well,
way.
there's there's so
Kanien'kehá:ka.
yeah. There's so I can't. I'm not even gonna try and say it because I don't want to say it wrong. There are so many territories and so many that we need to learn about. Like I said, Tanaha's here.
Yes.
My son and my husband are Cree from the Woodland Cree from Prince Albert, Saskatchewan area. But like I said, his grandpa left to go to the Regina Rifles in the 40s, and he lost his status then, and they never went back to Mistawasas. They were then went from World War II to another base to Montreal and they ended up in Coaldale, Alberta, and they never returned back to the reservation or their territory or their land. So they lost status, and Percy didn't get his status back till 2 weeks after his death. So, like I said, I haven't talked about this. I mean, we have privately, but I mean, his grandfather. We're not sure whether he went to residential school. We're sure that they probably all did. We just don't know because there's nobody alive to tell us and there's nobody really talking about it because I don't think they know. Because I think his grandma was so, like I said, he wasn't allowed to say kukum. That was not a word that they were allowed. They weren't. Grandma made bannock. Grandma made turkey and all some of the meals and stuff, but there was no language at all allowed.
It's just so painful to think about what that could have actually felt like to these little kids, and it's just so horrendous. But I do feel like it's important for Canadians and Catholics, Christians to feel ashamed. Actually, I want them to, because I want some kind of alchemy to really, shift us into a place where we actually can be a really good country, because we don't not talk about it. And of course, when people go through traumatic experiences, they don't want to talk about it. So it's understandable that many people, like your Alvin's people, didn't talk about it, or who knows, if they did, it got lost anyways. Like you said, so much of it got lost.
But that's the thing. There's so much. Like I said, I've reached out to some of his family that might know, and not getting much of anything. Like, it's either they don't know, they don't want to talk about it. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's pretty. It's pretty
it's
sad
gotta be
indeed, right?
For sure. So you can imagine how painful it is right now for so many Indigenous people. The pain must be so palpable, and that's why it would be so great if we could, just do some simple acts on Canada Day about why we're canceling it and standing with Indigenous people. And that's the only way we can ever again be a proud Canadian.
Well,
I'm not
I will tell everybody what I'm doing. I don't care, and I hope everybody hears this so they can actually do it too. I went and bought a big orange tablecloth, and I'm going to write genocide across it, and I'm going to hang it on my fence. And I'm the girl that usually goes out to the dollar store and picks up all the, tidbits for Canada Day and the flags and the tattoos and all that shit, and fucking put red and white ribbons in my hair. Like, I'm a proud Canadian, right? And I usually go all out about it. And I'm not lying. Like, the red room's usually like covered in fucking Canadian flags and all over the fences. And not
you
this
could
year.
have been a Habs fan.
My dad is a Habs fan. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? My dad is a Habs fan. He's probably just sitting there with his little grubby hands right now, just 80 years old, sitting there watching the Habs game.
Does he want to flip a cop car on its head?
No. My dad's always been a Canadians fan. Always. Like, I've got pictures of taken.
I know,
like,
they're across the planet, and from Quebec. I'm saying tonight there is another game.
Yes, I know.
Which is very exciting. But
Stanley Cup.
I just wish.
I mean, for the first time in how many years? 35, 40? When's the last time they actually played?
I think it was the 90s. I don't know. I think it's like something like 28 years or something.
Yeah, it's a long time. But like I said, my dad, my whole life has been a Habs fan, right? And then I'm a Calgary. I moved to Calgary, and I was at the Calgary Flames game when they won the Stanley Cup. So then I lived in Calgary, so I became a Flames fan, right? And I've been a Flames fan for many years. But my dad, my kid, like even Taven, like, Jersey Day at school, he'd have a Canadians jersey, and everybody else had Vancouver Canucks jerseys. There's my kid with his Habs fucking.
No, jersey. there's Habs fans everywhere in Canada, and maybe God knows, or maybe around the world. Like there is like there's Habs fans everywhere.
Did you see Heather Hitchcock with those fellows up from Inuvik? And
yes.
Habs fans.
No, that was so sweet. That was so sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. Like, exactly. There's Habs fans like way the hell up there.
I know, right?
Yeah.
And then the fishless lake that they got stuck with. Like, I think that's what was the most appalling. They were the whole debate was that the loser from the Toronto Maple Leafs would have to go fish in this fishless lake. So they have a lake on their reserve with water with no fish. Like, who the fuck does that? Who puts people where there's no fish? Like, that's just like, what do you mean there's no fish in that lake? Like, who put you there?
Wow. You
know what I mean? Like, anyway, there's, like I said, we just have to move forward. It's not even moving forward. Truth has to come out. If there's no truth, there's no reconciliation. Yeah. And these entities and these fucking institutions, whether it's the government, whether it's fucking churches, because like I've been on a rant for the last 2 days about the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints too in Alberta. Well, not in Alberta. Just I've been on a fucking huge rampage about them because they have a temple in Cardston, Alberta, which is pretty much right next door to the Blood Tribe Reserve, which is the Piikani and the Sika. Anyway, they used to take babies from them into their welfare system and adopt them into their little private adoption fucking Mormonville shit.
Mm,
Not kidding.
yeah.
Yeah. It's
So many layers of culpability with religions and governments and God knows who else. But yeah, like I mean, it's just revolting. But I think it's a lesson for the world actually, because every country probably, maybe there's some exceptions
no,
where
there's
they
none.
just,
They've all been. It's
in
this
terms
is
of bearing the truth, and also also how indigenous peoples have been misplaced and fucked over,
well, like I
like in
said, I
so
think
many
it was you.
places.
Was it you that I was telling this to earlier today? With, or I can't remember who I was talking to. But we were talking about even indigenous people from the UK and Scotland that were actually wiped out prior to, and they have actually found at Mary's Mound, which is in upper parts of the UK. I think it's on the east side of the or west side of the island. It's called Mary's Mound, and in that location they found prior farming that goes back to prior to colonization, even on the northwestern or the North Americas, where they found barley and all kinds of stuff in the Pickens, which is another society that was wiped out by, they think, the Vikings, which were Scottish on the Scottish Isle, that were also probably an indigenous race as well, that were wiped out. So indigenous to North America, yes, but there's also probability that all through Western Europe there was also an indigenous peoples as well that might likely have already wiped out.
Well, indigenous means, of the land, right? So,
Right.
of course, because if you know human history, it's just been one fucking gangster shit show after another.
And it's all due
like,
to
I mean,
religion.
that's
Like,
right.
and this
Like,
is all
this
based
is,
on religion. Like, I think the
well,
Crusades
it
is what,
goes,
because it brought it up. Because and here's another thing that people don't understand. Religion wasn't born in fucking North America. Religion wasn't born in fucking the UK. It wasn't born in Western, or it was born in Eastern fucking Asia, and which were Buddha and the monks, and in the Middle East. That's where Jesus was from. He was from the Middle East. He was a Jewish man from the Middle East, and they were fighting over the same crap they're still fighting over now. The Muslims and the Jews and all these people that are fighting over a rock of Gibraltar and who's got the truest this and that. Religion is the biggest fucking crock of shit and it's the root of all evil.
well,
It truly is, because you know what? Man should not be fighting with another man over a fucking who's right and who. Shut the fuck up over some deity, over some god, whether it's Allah, God. Shut up.
I think it evolved though. Like, here's what I think. I think the killing and the warmongering totally existed before religion, and there's a case to be made that the reason
Genghis
religion.
Khan, you got there was before religion, like.
Yeah, no, it's just like no, just I mean, human survival was so limited, and whatever, people were killing each other. Like it's human history is disgusting.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm a history geek. It's so
I'm a history geek,
it just turns into like what the fuck.
Well, like I said, how far do you go back? Do you go back to
It's-
Pangea? Like, you know what I mean? Like, we can go back to Pangea. Like, you know what I mean? Like, do you go back to the 5 tribes and then we talk about the whole flood, and like, where do you go with all of this history? Because we're finding out too that some of that might not be true either, because the more archaeological digs that are coming out of, especially the south tip of Africa in Egypt, where they're finding other civilizations that they didn't even know existed prior to the pharaohs. Like, do we really absolutely know where do we start? So again, we've been taught and fed all this stuff about history, and we're both history geeks. You and I both know this. We both studied this. But again, do we really absolutely have any? Do we really know? Because I said we've got more archaeological digs going on as we speak, and they're finding stuff. Another mummy, 5,000 fucking before Christ with cannabis. Right in the eastern tip of Egypt.
Religion may have been concocted because of magic mushrooms, like maybe, and then it's just like it's like.
I don't know. It was visions, right? Visions of and then fermented wines and there's
Sure,
all
sure.
kinds
No,
of
absolutely. That too. Like all of these things. Like, I mean, you have to think of human evolution, but basically we're fucking beasts. We're fucking goddamn fucking
we are.
fuckers,
We're the
gangsters.
worst
Like,
fucking
you
mammals
know,
there.
we're
Fuck.
fucking gangsters. But, you know, we are, I think we're evolving. And, you know, Canada is a young, very young country compared to whatever others, I guess. And we have a chance to show the world how you do truth and reconciliation, because I think the whole world actually probably needs it. Like, but I mean,
Yeah.
we do need it. The whole world does need it, but we doesn't matter. We need to
Well,
focus
and let's
on
face it,
here and
we've
now in
led the world
Canada.
in cannabis legalization too, and we went around the UN for that. I mean, Uruguay was first. Let's face it, they were first, hands down. But again, Canada's the first world country to actually
Mhm,
legalize cannabis, and the
mhm.
states federally still hasn't. They're going state to state, and I see that it's more and more every day. There's more and more
Yeah,
access in the U.S. and
it's
they're
happening, but it's happening slowly because I've like posted also some articles on lounges that they're talking about. They're talking about consumption lounges now. Like
yes, I
it's
know,
a
yeah.
thing now. It's a thing now, and
Yeah.
it's like so it's gonna like just roll
Well,
over.
once they've got
But
once they've got it wide open in the states, especially with tourism too. Like, I mean, I don't know why
yeah,
people aren't jumping on the tourism ban with this, but again, because of the border crossings and the whole, you can't have a criminal record, you can't bring cannabis back and forth across the border, blah blah blah. You know, there's
all
still
that kind
stigma.
of
The
thing.
stigma is still there. The stigma will still be there.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm also finding out too, like as I'm watching a little bit of native TikTok and stuff, a little more, cannabis is a medicine that they've used too for many years, decades and
Yeah.
decades and decades. In fact, it was funny when one of them was like, "We brought you." Grandma was in bed, Kukum was in bed, and just like, "We brought you a marijuana cookie." She loved it. I just thought it was great. I think
Yeah.
that like I said, maybe cannabis is gonna help heal the world too.
Well,
You
of
know,
course we know that. We know that, and we know that it's gonna help with evolution of the brain. It's not, and nothing can happen so fast, but we do know for sure that it can help bring down violence. I mean, how many times do you have to hear stories of how it did? I heard stories of fights in parks, stopping because somebody lit up a joint and started passing it, or even people telling me they wanted to beat up a gay guy, but then they lit up a joint and they were in the car and they were gonna like take,
ooh,
go
sad,
around the
sad
block and beat him
stuff.
up, but then they like smoked weeds and saw him again. And it's like, no, we shouldn't do it. Like, I know it
No.
sounds like this is like I never, these are I've heard these kinds of stories, so often, right? So
Oh, it's Pride Month. Like all this, like, oh, that's horrible. I mean, like I said, I've kind of been hooked on TikTok for the last couple of days, and I'm watching because it's Pride Month and because of what's going on with native TikTok now. It's really educational, like quite honestly, and I'm learning a lot more than I don't know anything. Like considering that I've started taking the Indigenous Studies course, it's very, and I encourage everybody to take that through course. It's a really great course, but in hindsight, until you live it, no, we're never gonna know it. It doesn't matter how much we study the traditional ways or the way that we're never gonna have the opportunity to have that. We're not them, no matter how much we want to. We can try, and live their ways with Mother Earth and everything else, and that's one way to respect them and give back is try and fight for
100%.
water and fight for our trees and fight for our fish and fight for our land. But
I think they want. I think we should all want to absolutely live way better, more in harmony, do great projects together,
backyard
learn
farmer, like, you know
together.
what I
Why
mean?
not?
Like, I try to be sustainable even in the city with the chickens and the quails, and you know what I mean? Like, but there's another thing too. Like, white sage is another big thing for them. They don't want us burning that. And there's witches fighting over white sage, and it's their medicine, and they don't want. And in the States, it's endangered. And I wasn't really aware of that. And I went into my essential oil store on Friday, and usually she has sage sticks, and they're all gone. And I thank her for
Oh,
that.
okay.
Like,
I didn't know that either.
I didn't say anything. I don't know if she just did it. They're just not there. They're just not there.
Mhm.
And I'm glad for that, because then I didn't have to ask her to take them out, like I did with the other store where they had some Mark Emery stuff up, and I asked them to take it down, and they did. You're
Oh,
welcome.
you run that down, girlfriend. You run
No,
that
I
down.
don't.
Wild
No,
tea.
it's just that, like,
Wild tea,
I
you
just
run
speak
that
out.
down.
I speak out about what's right and what's not.
No,
And
I love that. I love that. We need more. We need more.
I was called, a snotty know-it-all, and it's like, no, I'm just educated. Sorry about that.
I'm just a bitch.
No, it's a capital C word, but I can't say. I'll refrain from saying that on the air. But
You know what? I had to talk about that word today because I am a fan of that word. As you know, I got
Yeah.
put in Facebook jail many times because I called, conservatives conservatives.
Right? Well, that's where we got it all from.
And
you.
here's the thing. I'd be like writing this word, knowing I'd probably go to Facebook jail again, and I'd be writing the word down because I love the word so much, and I'd be thinking they don't even deserve this great word.
Well, it's in Australia. It's quite a
so
compliment.
mad at me, but they don't deserve it.
Yeah,
They don't
in Australia they
understand that
call
I'm
everybody
blessing them.
cunts. So when you go to Australia, if you don't get called cunt, then you're not probably somebody's friend. So you have to be careful because it's quite a useful word in some.
You got to remember. I mean, it's a really because it's such a bad word. Maybe that's why I fell in love with it. But now I purposely spell country like country because I feel like
I tried doing that too.
every
I think I got
country
banned.
is a woman, and we should be fucking leading all the country.
Oh, I got banned off TikTok for adding to try and put my bio up because was trying to put cannabis and coffee with marijuana in there in my bio, and apparently I was breaking community standards. And I don't know what community standards I was breaking, so I took a picture of the Pace Radio network and posted that instead. And said,
I think you should post. I think what about posting a challenge on TikTok on Canada Day for everyone to do a video to stand with Indigenous in orange or with an orange tablecloth or whatever. But
I'm sure there'll be lots of them. That's the thing. Unless you're an influencer on TikTok, nobody's gonna watch my shit and care. There's probably somebody else that's already doing it.
But to say what unceded territory we're
I'm not on unceded territory. There's treaties here, so I'm not on unceded Vancouver Island, part of the West Coast, and part of Central Fraser Valley, I believe, is unceded. But where I am, it's territory. It's all territory, and you're not on unceded either. No, you've got territory. You've got treaty there too. So I encompass treaty. I think it is 6 here and 7. And then the Blood Tribe kind of runs over between the Alberta border. Like Pincher Creek, just before standoff, in Brockett, that's the Blood Tribe Reserve that goes in past almost to Lethbridge and almost to Fort McLeod, almost down to the U.S. border, all through Waterton, right? And then Tinaha runs all through the St. Mary's, and they've been called the St. Mary's Band as well. Mission, it's a huge territory as well. So
you're educating me big time here,
and
I
not like there. But I
think of all of Canada as being on unceded territory.
No,
only because I sort of think of the word unceded like
being like
they
stolen.
never gave up their land. Basically, that's it. So it's
and that's why I laugh at all these people in Alberta going, we're gonna separate from Canada, and we're gonna take Alberta, and we're gonna run away with it. I'm thinking, no, you're not, because you're sitting on Treaty 6, 7, 4, and I believe 3. So I don't really think you're taking that place anywhere, dudes. Like, I think that, your Indigenous peoples are going to say, fuck you, you ain't taking it anywhere. How about you just take yourselves and go? And that's where I would be at with it. It's like, take yourselves and go. You want to exit Alberta? There's the door. Give us back, but the buffalo jump and all the stuff that you've got as national parks now, and put little fucking fucking the Old Man River Dam that's standing with the fucking no, it was Leonard Longtime Squirrel, I think, or was it maybe a Longtime Squirrel? Anyway, they were shooting at the workers when they tried putting the Old Man River Dam up, or on the Old Man River. Like, there's been a lot of upheaval in southern Alberta over land and territory too, because they put a big dam on the Old Man River. The Old Man River Dam. They fucking took Buffalo Jump, made it a national park. Which, to preserve it. Preserve it for who? You already took the buffalo, killed all them off. Now they can't even jump their buffalo off the buffalo jump, because that's how it became known as the buffalo jump, because the Indigenous would run the buffalo off the cliff, and then they would land on the bottom because it didn't didn't need them to shoot or have arrows to kill them because the arrows were needed for other things, right? And they would jump the buffalo off the side of this cliff, and then they would land on the ground, and then they could eat them. Right?
Yeah,
That was what
right,
how
yeah.
they did
Yeah.
that. Well, they killed off all the buffalo, so there's no buffalo to fucking jump off the cliff. Yeah, it's disgusting. Like it's so
It's
beautiful down
disgusting.
there. It's a beautiful piece. It's a beautiful coulee. It's so beautiful out there. Now it's scattered with great big wind fucking propellers, and they've done the wind farms out there. And all you see for miles and miles is beautiful mountains in the distance, and on all these fucking white propellers. I don't know what's worse. Oil jacks or fucking white propellers. So you can feed all that energy down to California. Anyways, we gotta take a quick break and thank our sponsors. And this time I'll mute the mic so nobody can hear me ranting.
Oh,
yeah. You've been
Because we
listening.
don't want to get in trouble. But no, we do want to get in trouble.
We're always in
down
trouble.
for trouble.
You've been listening to us live on paceradio.net.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
At Legacy 420, we believe in being different.
Experience the difference of quality control.
Our labs provide tested formulations for all of our products.
Experience the difference in trust.
Our customers can 420.com or contact us for curbside pickup as well as nationwide mail order shipping.
Legacy 420 values overall wellness.
Come and experience.
Alliance of Cannabis in Canada is an organization working to improve cannabis legalization in Canada. They have a mission and values that includes all Canadians no matter where they come from. The values are including everyone, as no one should be excluded from participating, equality, diversity, advocacy, along with cannabis education and research, plus industry, safety, and professional standards. If this is an organization that has the same values as you, check them out at People's Alliance of Cannabis in Canada.ca. Once again, People's Alliance of Cannabis in Canada.ca. Check them out.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more, we've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
What do you find at paceradio.net? People advocating cannabis education.
A doctor's job is to relieve your pains. And when it comes to growing cannabis, the biggest pain is trimming. Let Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions take the pain away. Whether you're a home grower or a commercial operation, we have the cure. From 4 plants to 400 plants, garden size doesn't matter. Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions comes to you with years of experience and professional discreet service. It's simple. We trim your weed and we do a damn good job. Visit drbuckcts.com to book your trimming.
CP operates a medicinal cannabis signing clinic. If you want to grow your own medicinal cannabis and are located anywhere in Canada, then I'd like to suggest that you give them a call. They can be reached at 1-613-967-9888. That's 1-613-967-9888, and grow on with CP.
Growing your own vegetables, flowers, or even medicinal plants can be a challenge without the right equipment and proper know-how. At BMA Hydroponics, not only are they your urban horticultural experts and suppliers, but their staff holds the customer's needs paramount to making a sale. Family-owned with decades of experience and knowledge, they offer free advice in person, by phone, or email. BMA Hydroponics wants to ensure you have the advice you need, which is why you'll find tips and tricks on different ways to grow, like wick, ebb and flow, drip, or aeroponic system, as well as other helpful links at bmahydroponics.com. If you can't find what you're looking for, just let them know, and they'll do everything they can to get what you're looking for. At BMA Hydroponics, each staff member also possesses a federal exemptee MMAR license, making their strong suit empathy, experience, and dedication to their customers. Because when you know how to grow, you'll have results that make you proud. BMA Hydroponics in Belleville, Ontario. Visit bmahydroponics.com.
We are people advocating cannabis education here at paceradio.net. Net.
Woohoo!
There we are. We're back.
We're back, Jack.
Yeah. So, yeah, like we were talking a bit over the break about how you don't see women running out to convents to become nuns anymore. That just seems to have been something that's just kind of what happened.
Well, look at women had no choice in life. You either got married and and had to have children, lots of them, or became a nun. Like you had like what I mean. There was a time when that was basically your choice, or die. Like it was like So I get it. It's just I mean, thank God. Yeah, I mean, I hope religion goes through some crazy
I see a
real
lot of, like I
alchemy
said,
too.
I've often, like, I'm a Star Trek fan. I don't make any bones about that. But I see, if we could just evolve to where Gene Roddenberry, actually seen, where there was no religion at all. I don't know what man has to,
Maybe we can get
have
there,
to, like actually believe in anything, some deity other than themselves. And even if you read the King James Bible, it always says God only helps those who help themselves. So why doesn't man start believing in themselves instead of believing in something that just wants to get into your fucking pocketbook? Because in reality, it all boils down to them. Like I say, the LDS Church, they tithe their fucking members 10% of their wages. And all their members are doctors and lawyers and dentists. And there are 160 million members all paying 10% of their fucking wages to a goddamn church that, again, has a tax break, isn't paying any taxes because they're under the religious umbrella. Like, come on, open your fucking eyes. Like, Jesus Christ.
Hopefully that'll change. And yes, I mean, all religions really need to go through something, but I don't know, like if we can, it would be great to live in a post-religious world, and maybe it will happen. I think possibly, like, because I do think religion becomes less desirable, the smarter you become and the wiser you become. But it is the glue too. Like people do cling to their religion like in a huge way, but of course they've been brainwashed too. But yes, I think all religions are gonna, and this maybe is the start of it. Because there does have to be a reckoning.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying you can't be spiritual. I mean, even, the Creator and Mother Earth and there's all kinds of ways to be spiritual. It doesn't mean that you can't be spiritual and have morals and know what's right and wrong and good. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that, but anybody who's religious would think that if you're not, you're a heathen. Like, I don't know how many fucking times, and so that makes it so, Indigenous people are called heathens. Now, if you're non-religious, you're called a heathen too. So, sadly, if you don't believe in the deity of Jesus or God or whatever, you're a heathen too. So, I'm on board. I'll join the heathen club.
When you're queer, you're a total heathen. You're the devil.
Right.
You got devil status.
Right. So you got double status. You get double status. You're double down on the heathen.
Yeah, double down.
Yeah, I love it. Love it. Yeah. That means we can have double the fun.
I mean, I want to believe that this pain has a real purpose for change. I just want to believe that so much.
So did you guys have Pride Parade or anything in Montreal, or did nothing with COVID, or what was going? Is there any activities planned?
I haven't seen anything, and that's why I was wondering maybe I'll do a TikTok 1-minute video. I feel like I think it's important. I just feel like we have to do something. I hope.
Well, if they're going to go and roar about a goddamn hockey game,
what's that?
I says they're going to make a great big stink about a fucking hockey game again.
Who is?
Montreal, the hockey game, right? So.
Oh, I hope not.
I hope not. That's another thing. Like, I hope there's not a great big stink about the hockey game. Whether they win or they don't, usually there's a riot.
I know. It's like it gets to be a bit much. Like, why does somebody's store window have to be broken? Like, it doesn't. Come on. Like,
did they board up things downtown Montreal already, or are they getting ready for that?
I don't know.
I haven't. Like I said, I haven't been paying much attention to the news and stuff. I've been watching TikTok. I'm kind of hooked on that TikTok thing right now.
No, I think it'd be great. It'd be great if they won. There's no question about it. It'd be awesome for the city. The city, we had a really hard time during the pandemic. Like, we fucking suffered. I lived in the red zone for the whole thing and probably got COVID. That's probably what happened to me. Whatever. But so it'd be great for the city of Montreal for sure. But I just find, the violence and the when property gets wrecked, I just don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't get how that, has to be part of a celebration for victory, It bothers me.
No, I've never quite understood that either. I just have never understood why any protest has to become what they do. Like, I've never, we've protested, I don't know how many times at Parliament Hill. We did global marijuana marches. We never broke anything. We never hurt anybody. We just marched along, singing our songs and doing our thing. And I've never heard of one cannabis rally ever getting violent or ever having police have to arrest multiple people or tear gas us. And they've had thousands of people at 420 in Toronto global marijuana marches. They've had thousands of 30,000 people in Vancouver on Sunset Beach. And nobody's ever gotten fought.
Well, same thing with, gay pride started out as big protests and the same thing. Like, it seems to be, it seems to happen in Quebec a lot. I don't know.
Yeah, but they do it in Vancouver too.
I don't want to say it's a French thing, but maybe it's a poutine thing. I don't know. But obviously, I think I made a suggestion to some cops once that, why don't you put some designated tokers in the crowd, and why don't let's have a committee. I know they thought it was nuts, but I couldn't. I feel like I'd like to prove something. You know what I mean? Like, you can prevent this. People can be toking, but if they're drinking and they're wild, you know what I mean?
Well, that's what I found so odd.
Don't look like that they're they're peaceful toking citizens. Like, I get it. But,
yeah. To be fair, I was kind of shocked.
But I do think you could probably, if you had some real purpose and you had a committee that was designated to give out joints and smoke joints during a protest and de-escalate, have professional de-escalators there, but toking being a big part of it. I think you could change that dynamic, and I'd like to change it because I think protesting is really important for a good democracy, and every fucking democracy right now seems to be in peril. You know what I mean? Like Donald Trump.
His rage tour.
Definitely, I don't know.
Well, like I said, to be fair, I've never seen anything like the Light Festival when I came to Montreal. You stepped out of the hotel room onto the front, out front there it was, and there was booze fucking shacks right there. Like, you could go get a drink right on the street, and I was like, what the fuck? This is weird. Because I've never seen anything like that before. But you're right, the rage tour with Donald Trump, democracy's in peril in the States.
Yeah, it is. And, it's being so tested, and some countries in Europe, like Hungary, have these fucking dictators, and Turkey, and
Russia.
Russia,
China,
Brazil,
North Korea. Who doesn't? Thailand, the Philippines, who doesn't have a dictator?
Fucker.
They all have dictatorship, and that's the thing.
Can you imagine slowly, that guy?
Myanmar was, now taken over by, the military.
But look at what that guy in the Philippines did, for years. He just, he had people go and execute drug users. People sitting at cafes, even if they were suspected, or, so many innocent people who, the brother of a drug dealer, all, in the poor part of the Philippines, because that's what happens in poor parts of the world. And he just fucking, it stopped.
Genocide.
There was pressure put on him, but he killed thousands of people. And he just had them executed
in Syria
in
too,
the street.
genocide.
And
there's so much.
And where's the justice? And because they're drug users or dealers, they don't, they're treated like subhuman. Well, shit, I think we've seen that before. You can make anybody subhuman when you want to kill them. There's just I think what I'm really struck by is, there's a lot of people who are so sick that they think, killing is okay. Like these Donald Trump supporters who are saying we'll have civil war send our man to jail, you know what I mean? Because the fucker deserves to go to jail for all the crimes he's done. And, so there's a real worry about that.
What's the Civil
And
War
that,
going to
and that
do? It's not going to, it doesn't get away from the fact that he's broken the law. So you're going to have a civil war for every criminal that's out there? Because that's what he is, you stupid fuckers. He's a criminal.
I know, but you could say like there's no rationale, and like maybe this is like behind every war, like how all the wars, there's an element of this, right? So basically, these people, it's hard to believe that they don't know the truth. I think most of them do know the truth, but they're invested in, creating violence and maybe even killing. Like there's a lot of psychopaths like that are, out there. And, wow, a lot of them are Christian, news flash. You know what I mean? Like, fuck. So,
they've got that whole mindset. Christian soldiers. We're God's Christian soldiers.
Yeah.
Like, even like I said, if you watch TV at all on the History Channel, I don't know if you've seen this, but even like the Mennonites and the Hutterites, they have mafia. And they have what was it? You know what I mean? Like the Mennonite mafia.
Probably all organized religion could probably fall under.
They do, Scientologists.
Definition of mafia for sure.
And look at Scientology, where they, anybody who wants to leave Scientology, they follow them around and berate them. And here's the thing with Scientology: you actually pay them to fucking learn their shit. The Mormons just take it. The Mormons just take it.
Oh my God!
They do. They actually have access to the bank account, because I have another friend. Another story. Her mom needed a new roof. Her mom was a convert and joined the church because that's how they get people too when they're pouring down and out. They'll help them with their welfare, bring them food, have them convert to their church, and tell them to always take care of them. So these poor people, they joined the church. Next thing you know, they needed a new roof. So the church made sure they had a new roof and made sure they had everything they needed. And then, started tithing them a little more. That's all they do. And they have access to your bank account. You have to give them access. They can take money in put money into your bank account and take it out. Not a lie. Not a lie. Check it out.
To me, that's like a cult. Okay, so there's a difference between
and
a church
then, like I said,
cult.
and then there's the fundamental ones that live out here that still believe in polygamy. That have more than one wife.
Yeah, I know.
And sell their children to a fucking old creepy guy across the fucking line.
Sickos. I mean, fuck. Sometimes there's not enough cannabis.
Oh my God, there's just too many topics.
But
this is Catherine McKenna. We were going to talk about Catherine McKenna, and we've totally gapped on that. So Catherine McKenna, our climate minister,
God bless her. God bless her. She was beautiful today, and she went through so much as a woman who, received misogynistic shit that it was just disgusting.
Death threats. But, who threatened
she doesn't
somebody?
Want to focus on that. And, I think she has a lot of class, unlike, Carolyn Bennett, who I think should leave. Because I do think people should leave after 2 terms. I do. I think, you've had a chance to make your mark, and yes, you could do a lot of things. That's why people should get into politics.
Okay, well, here's my thing too.
Do a lot of things.
And then they had that poor MP from the NDP caucus, okay, from Inuvik. And she's part of the NDP, where you got Jetmeet Singh saying, "Oh, I'm going to give them an open check, and I'm going to just let them have all the free drinking." She was part of the NDP party, and she was treated like shit. She's not rerunning again either, and she left a scathing message. She was marginalized. She was stigmatized. She was fucking basically, but by security.
I don't think she attributes that to the NDP. I think she attributes that being into Parliament.
Parliament Hill, yes, but where was her party? Where was her party to back her? Why did she feel abandoned at Parliament Hill? Where the fuck was the NDP to back her? Where was Jetmeet Singh? Where was any of her other members of that party to stand beside her and go to the security at goddamn Parliament and say, "Look, this is enough"? Where were they? Why did she feel like she was left alone on Parliament Hill? Why is that? Why is that?
You know what? We assume that the smartest and the best and whatever go to Parliament, but maybe they're not great at, human to human relations.
That's where I'm at. I understand that she felt like she was being discriminated on Parliament Hill. Security, was basically carding her, however you want to, say that how it is. Basically carding her, saying that she shouldn't be there because she was Indigenous. She has face tattoos. She's from Inuvik. She's an Inuit, and what? But like I say, where the fuck was the NDP? Where was any one of those other MPs? Where were they? Where were they? Where's Jagmeet Singh?
They all should have helped, like all the
They all
parties.
should have stood up. She should have been able to go to her caucus and say, this is what's happening. I feel marginalized. I feel like I'm being singled out, and I feel this is wrong. Why was that not brought onto the floor of Parliament right there and then? Why are we hearing this on CBC after she's saying I'm out of here? Why? What is that?
I mean, I don't know. We don't know. Like, who knows if she told people? Maybe she kept it. Who knows? We don't know on that.
I don't think she kept it to herself. That'd be like Jody Wilson-Raybould keeping anything to herself. She never does. Like, come on now. These people are out for politics. They're politicians. They're not playing stupid. They're not dumb. They do everything for a reason.
But she's young.
Why Jody Wilson-Raybould fucking made sure she had that message out about Carolyn Bennett. Because it's all political. Maybe, it's all about climbing that political. True, and whether you like her or you hate her, she's still an Indigenous woman that needs to fucking put her place, and she needs to climb that ladder. And she's a politician. Take away the fact that she's an Indigenous woman. Take away the fact that she's a woman at all. She's a politician.
My criticism of her is really, to me, it was incredulous how her and Jane Philpott just totally ignored the cannabis community and had no empathy, no understanding, no care in the world, because they could have rolled out that cannabis regime differently, I think. But
I agree.
But I think Carolyn Bennett really did a major.
That wasn't right either. But again, like I said, pull away from the whole woman thing. Pull away from the fact that either one of them are women. Pull away from the fact that either one of them, whether they're whatever, they're politicians, and both of them are trying to play political fucking games. And that's what this boils down to. It's got nothing to do with whether they're women, whether one's Indigenous or one's not. It's a political fucking playing fucking head games, and they all do it. And they're playing in a man's game to begin on top of it all. So you got these, few women that have actually made it into caucus, which is really tough and difficult as it is. And you're dealing with a bunch of misogynistic, claiming to be feminist. Maybe they are, maybe they're not. And you're dealing with a men's game. Politics has always been a man's game. It hasn't changed that much. And here we are in 2021. And we still have claiming all this stuff. But you know what? Women, as women, we still don't have equal rights. Never mind all the other marginalized and other things that have gone on through history. Women still haven't gotten their fucking rights, never mind anything else. We're still fighting for abortion. We're still fighting the do-gooders on fucking abortion. We're still having to fucking actually sit there and fucking justify why the fuck a woman and abortion is healthcare. They're still playing this stupid game in the States. Like, come on. And then you want to talk about marginalized women on top of it? We as women still haven't gotten fuck all. We're still fucking underpaid, underappreciated, and treated like fucking doormats. Right. Gaslit and fucking told that everything that we feel is wrong. Where are we going? We want to fight for everybody else all the time. We're not even fighting for our fucking selves half the time. Just saying.
Well, yeah, I mean, we are, but it's true. We still got some. Catherine McKenna proved it. I mean, she, smart, beautiful, young,
lawyer, educated,
super passionate about climate change. Just a star, and what she had to put up with. Just so few women.
We met her in Ottawa. We met her in Ottawa. Or no, in Montreal. We met her in Montreal at the convention in 2014. Mm-hmm. She was there. We met her. We had that little, powwow or whatever with her and Kelly, and Sandra Colasanti was there. So we did. We've met quite a few of them, and that's why it's so hard for me to not like them sometimes, because I've met them, right? We've spent time with them. Yeah. But again, like I said, Catherine was awesome. And Carolyn Bennett, I mean, I enjoyed it. Like, she stood up with us in 2011 when we went to Parliament Hill. She was the House Minister.
She's been there a long time.
Well, she has been. Carolyn's been around forever, right?
I love what Catherine McKenna said. She was urging diversity and how she wanted to help encourage that and, foster that. And yeah, I just think it's, there's a time when it's time for people to leave. And I think it's Carolyn Bennett's time to leave. But, the problem is they never do leave, and they look when you look at these fucking old senators in the States, oh my God, some of them are so old and like they are the problem.
I
They
think our
are the
Senate is a
problem. They're
problem
like
too.
the
We need to get rid of our
sycophants
Senate.
for Trump. Like they are a big problem.
And our Senate
And
too. Our Senate,
I
fuck
wish
them.
we would get rid of our Senate.
Yeah, me too.
And we would have a Congress that was elected and only marginalized and low income people could, run for it, because then our democracy would actually represent the country. Because I never feel represented.
No,
never.
exactly,
Like
because
my
you have to
whole
have money to
fucking
be a
life,
politician.
never.
And
And
that's
I'm
a
always,
problem.
and I think I've voted in every election since I was 18, except for a few mayor races. You know what I mean? But provincial, federal, fucking, every time, even though, and I've ruined some ballots. I didn't want to vote. I hated the people, but I still went in and put a big and probably wrote,
Fuck you on it. Yeah.
probably wrote.
I voted every election since.
I didn't write cunt though. I didn't go cunt.
Well, like I said again, I have.
Hard to say I have Tourette's.
Yeah, I voted since I was 18 too, but I actually cut my Liberal card in half here a few years ago. I can't remember what the deal was about that. I never did get another one. Yeah, like I said, I'm having less and less faith in government every single fucking day, because until they stand up and an election right now, it's probably not a great idea. I don't care if you think you're going to win a majority or not. I don't know what the deal is. We're still in a pandemic. I just don't think it's the right time. But that's my opinion, and they don't listen. So, and we found that out a long time ago. They don't listen to anybody anyways unless you got money,
Well,
you can afford to run.
They pretend to listen during election time. That's when you can get their ear, right? And that's why, I'm trying to still work on my petition.
I don't blame you.
It's been a
keep
challenge.
at it. Keep at it. You got to keep at it.
I know. I might have to bribe, a few head shop owners or employees with weed.
Like I said, I think you're better off taking it to a restaurant or a bar, a lounge, maybe somewhere where you can, talk to lounge owners, because they're the ones that are like, and it might come down to deciding whether you want to serve liquor or you want to fucking have a lounge. And that's the thing, like they're never going to probably allow liquor and cannabis to be sold in the same premise or be involved in the same premise. So I think that's the problem with a lot of these. They make more money off liquor sales than they would make off a lounge.
And I understand. I understand that. But I guess what I'm thinking is, because I went to so many underground lounges over the last 20 years, and many of them were in bars. And, so I get it that it's, there's this, it's really just a way of thinking that could easily be changed if people, decided to step up and want to change it. You could have vending machines of cannabis in bars and restaurants. Why not? You know what I mean? Like, why not? And they could be whatever government.
Because it's already written into the legislation that cannabis and alcohol can never be sold in the same premise.
I mean, that's just stupid, because people do
I'm
use
not saying
cannabis.
it's right. I'm not saying it's right.
They'll have a glass of wine, and then, why couldn't you have a gourmet infused dinner or dabs with dinner, like at a restaurant, without it being like a big fucking thing? Like, it's stupid to separate the two. And
because marijuana is still on the CDA Schedule 1, I believe, is it not? They haven't removed marijuana off the CDSA account, Schedule 1. Yeah. Even though they legalized it, it's still on the CDSA, I believe.
Yeah, if it was only recreational, then why do we have these stupid stores and no, like, medical dispensaries? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's your version of recreation. Like, I mean, this will have to change. Like, there should be like little, maybe green crosses on some restaurants that serve cannabis food. Like, whatever. Like, it should be. It shouldn't have to take that much of an imagination to do it safely and bring more tourists because of it. And sure, bars, they don't want to interfere with their whatever. But you know what? If you let people vape and even toke on your terrace, and you have of course, it may not prevent bar fights and whatever, but it will bring it down a little. It will have an impact, so,
Yeah, for
why
sure.
wouldn't you fucking embrace it instead of like, no, we sell beer here. We cannot sell any, whatever. Come on. Like, stop thinking like the mafia. Fucking expand your brain. Like, please. Let's,
Oh
it's
no, I
time
got a
to change.
fire. Where's this?
We got a fire?
A fire, Cranbrook, BC.
Ooh.
Oh no.
Where? Yeah, find out. That's not good.
Well, it says by Cranbrook. And she's all excited because she's a firefighter. So she's all, but nobody's excited about this. It's like 40 above. We don't need, this is like.
Yeah, not a good time to have a fire. This is why I worry when fire.
This has actually been a week. What? It's been. I have lightning tracker on this. The storm carried lots of lightning all through it. How long has this been going on? About a week. I thought it was smoky today. Like I said to Taven when we left, I said, look at the haze. Wow. Oh my goodness. Well, honey, our time is up. It is 8 bells, so we have done a full hour of blithering.
Once again, it just wild keyed by. It just went by so fast.
Oh wow, that's crazy. Yeah. So yeah. Again, I'd like to thank you for joining me and us doing this show because it's a good way of blowing steam off for both of us, I think, especially during COVID and stuff. It was great that, we were able to come up with this great idea to do this show. And, eventually, like I said, I've put cannabis and coffee on hiatus for the summer because it's a little difficult to get, gas and stuff. Summertime, people are busy. So we're just going to leave that one alone for a bit. But we'll continue on with this so we can, speak our mind, speak our truth. And keep, spreading the word about all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when is
the Mumblebee?
Okay,
we
so
28th.
When is Canada Day? Is it on a Monday or is it on a Wednesday?
Thursday. It's this Thursday.
It's this Thursday. Oh. Yeah. Okay, good. That's great. That means that we can maybe catch up on Monday about our events of what we did.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope something is going on. If not,
I believe that this town is still going to be celebrating, and I'm not. So, like I said, I'm one that usually goes out and decorates the yard.
Well, it's not just. It's also like, people do post a lot of stuff at this time of year about how fireworks really, freaks out animals. Like, it's just like time to change some things, and to think about nature instead of like thinking I want to hear a big bang, and let's think about nature. Like let's just do things differently. Why not?
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks everybody for listening to our show, and we'll be back next week on paceradio.net. Good night, everybody.
Bye. Stay high.
Those nights in Montreal. All I think about is weed.
The opinions of the individuals during this broadcast are their own and may not be the opinions of their group or other organizations they may be involved with.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
At Legacy 420, we believe in being different.
Experience the difference of quality control.
Our labs provide tested formulations for all of our products.
Experience the difference in trust.
Our customers can trust that we are following up-to-date COVID precautions for their safety.
Experience the difference in accessibility.
We're open 7 days a week. Please visit our website, legacy420.com, or contact us for curbside pickup as well as nationwide mail order shipping.
Legacy 420 values overall wellness.
Come and experience the difference of Legacy 420.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more, we've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
The People's Alliance of Cannabis in Canada is an organization working to improve cannabis legalization in Canada. They have a mission and values that includes all Canadians no matter where they come from. The values are including everyone, as no one should be excluded from participating, equality, diversity, advocacy, along with cannabis education and research, plus industry, safety, and professional standards. If this is an organization that has the same values as you, check them out at People's Alliance of Cannabis in Canada.ca. Once again, People's Alliance of Cannabis in Canada.ca. Check them out.
What do you find at paceradio.net? People advocating cannabis education.
The People Advocating Cannabis Education Radio Network provides its listeners with news, information, and a place to be heard. This is done with a twice-weekly broadcast of the Reefer Reporters and by providing cannabis advocates a place to be heard through Cannabis and Coffee to Marijuana and the award-winning Pace Radio Show. Catch it all here at paceradio.net.
A doctor's job is to relieve your pains. And when it comes to growing cannabis, the biggest pain is trimming. Let Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions take the pain away. Whether you're a home grower or a commercial operation, we have the cure. From 4 plants to 400 plants, garden size doesn't matter. Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions comes to you with years of experience and professional discreet service. It's simple. We trim your weed and we do a damn good job. Visit drbuckcts.com to book your trimming.
What is the People Advocating Cannabis Education Radio Network? It's a network of people advocating cannabis education.
CP operates a medicinal cannabis signing clinic. If you want to grow your own medicinal cannabis and are located anywhere in Canada, then I'd like to suggest that you give them a call. They can be reached at 1-613-967-9888. That's 1-613-967-9888, and grow on with CTCP.
Who has huge buds? You do. If you shop at BMA Hydroponics, attend one of BMA's educational seminars and learn the secrets of growing, harvesting, processing, and consuming quality cannabis and cannabis products. Learn how to make better extracts, edibles, and medicinal creams at prices you can afford. Visit BMA Hydroponics at 404 Maitland Drive, Belleville, or call 613-967-9888. The only way to go.
We are people advocating cannabis education here at paceradio.net.